Hi everyone. In this video I'm going to discuss CMOS fabrication steps. So first of all we'll discuss NMOS, PMOS, then we'll go to the CMOS. So coming to the NMOS. So NMOS stands for, this is a basic MOS structure. So any MOS structure contains a substrate on which source and drain, gate, and beneath the gate thin oxide layer. So if we talk about NMOS, NMOS stands for N-channel enhancement MOSFET. MOS stands for metal oxide semiconductor. So gate, source, drain are the terminals which are present in the MOSFET. So in the NMOS, source and drain are of N plus material. So we should take opposite substrate. So P type of substrate is to be taken, and on which gate made of polysilicon, and beneath that thin oxide layer is to be formed, and N plus diffusion is to be done for forming the source and drain. So whenever positive supply of the gate is given, electrons will be moving from source to drain and IDS current is formed. So in the N-channel enhancement MOSFET, in any enhancement MOSFET, there will not be any channel. So channel should be formed by applying the positive gate voltage. Whenever we apply positive gate voltage, then the accumulation of charges take place. So accumulation can be done by, so source and drain are of N plus material. So from N plus material, from source drain, we'll have accumulation of the electrons. Even minority carriers from P type of substrate also come and accumulate to form a channel. That is called as an inversion layer, because in P substrate, N type of structure is formed. So coming to the PMOS, here this bubble indicates it is a PMOS, and here we'll have N type of substrate and P plus source and drain are formed. So whenever we give negative supply of the battery to the negative supply to the gate, then holes will be moving and we'll have the current. So coming to the CMOS, in the CMOS, on the pull up we have a PMOS and on the pull down we have a NMOS. So in order to fabricate the CMOS, we need to fabricate both PMOS and NMOS, and we need to make this connection. Gates of both the transistors are to be connected and we need to apply the input there, and both the drains are joined to take the output, and source of PMOS should be connected to VDD, source of NMOS should be connected to VSS. So this is the CMOS. So coming to the fabrication steps of the CMOS. So CMOS fabrication can be done using P-well technique, N-well technique, twin-tub technique, and silicon on insulator. But P-well process is widely used in practice, and N-well process is also popular. And in order to overcome some drawbacks which we are having, like latch up and all, we go for some other alternatives. Like we are having twin-tub technique, we are having silicon on insulator. Out of all these techniques, silicon on insulator SY is a best one because it is not having any drawbacks. In this process, we are going to discuss the P-well technique. So in the P-well technique, we can see it's a N substrate on which P-well is formed. This is a P-well. 4 to 5 micrometer P-well is formed. So we need to consider the N substrate first of all. This structure consists of N-type substrate in which P devices may be formed by suitable masking. So in N substrate, P devices are formed. So that means in N substrate, PMOS is formed. In P-well, NMOS is formed. then the suitable diffusions will be carried out. So suppose we want to form the NMOS here, N plus diffusion should be done. Here P plus diffusion should be done. And gates are, both the transistors gates are made of polysilicon, and beneath the polysilicon gate we will have a thin oxide layer. So first of all we'll begin with formation of P well. So for that, in order to accommodate the N-type devices, a deep P well is diffused into the N-type substrate. Deep P well is formed in the N-type substrate. So this diffusion must be carried out with special care, since the P well doping concentration and depth will affect the threshold voltage as well as the breakdown voltage of the N transistors. So here we are going to form the N transistor. So all this care should be taken. To achieve low threshold voltages, we need either deep well diffusion or high well resistivity. However, deep wells require large spacing between the N and P type transistors, and wires because of lateral diffusion and therefore a larger chip area. So we should take lot of care in forming the well itself. This well acts as a substrate for N devices within the parent N substrate. This is a parent N substrate, and provided that voltage polarity restrictions are observed. So these two areas are isolated electrically, and different masking, patterning, diffusion, different process will take place for forming the NMOS here and PMOS here. So in mask 1, we need to define the areas in which the deep P well diffusion to take place. So mask 1 defines deep P well, where deep P well diffusion taking place. Mask 2 defines the thin ox regions. So what is thin ox? This is thin ox. Beneath the gate we have thin ox. Mask 2 defines the thin ox regions, namely those areas where the thick oxide is to be stripped and thin oxide grown to accommodate P and N transistors and diffusion wires. So this is thick oxide, field oxide, that should be stripped, and we need to deposit thin oxide because it is metal oxide. This oxide is this. And here mask 3 is used to pattern the polysilicon layer which is deposited after the thin oxide. So this is polysilicon. Polysilicon is a material used for forming the gate. Here in this step we can see both transistors gates are formed. NMOS transistor and PMOS transistor gates are formed, and oxide layer beneath the gate is also formed. So next our objective is to form the source and drain of PMOS and source and drain of NMOS. So for that, in mask 4, a P plus mask is now used to define all areas where P diffusion is to take place. So here P diffusion, with P diffusion we can form the source and drain of PMOS. So the portion which we don't want to have P diffusion, that should be covered with the mask. Here photolithography will be taking place. So using photoresist material, exposing to UV rays, we can open the windows and we can do the diffusion. So with that diffusion we can form the source and drain. Similarly we will repeat for N plus diffusion also in the next step. So, and using the negative form of the P plus mask, we will define the areas where N type diffusion is to be taking place. So N diffusion is used for forming the source and drain of NMOS. P diffusion is used for forming the source and drain of PMOS. So gates are formed in the previous step, gates, and beneath the gate thin oxide layer is formed, and in the next step source and drain of PMOS is formed, and in further step source and drain of NMOS is formed. Then we need to make the connections. So contact cuts are now defined. So how these contact cuts will be made? By again photolithography, and metal is deposited using the next mask. Then overall passivation, that is overall protection is produced, and we can use the bonding pads for the openings. And now the connections, we know source of PMOS is to be connected to supply, and this is the substrate connection. So substrate also should be tied to the source to avoid the body effect. Similarly, we should do source of N substrate should be connected to ground, and substrate, this is the substrate connection, that also should be connected to the source. Both the gates are connected together to apply input, both the drains are joined together to take the output. So this is the P-well technique. So coming to the N-well technique. So N-well circuits are superior to P-well because of lower substrate bias effects on transistor threshold voltage and inherently lower parasitic capacitances associated with source and drain regions. So P-well process is widely used. N-well fabrication has also gained wide acceptance, and this is the N-well process. So the major difference we can see is, previously we used to have a P-well, in that NMOS is fabricated. Here in the N-well, PMOS is fabricated. In the native P substrate, NMOS is fabricated, except that we don't have any other difference. So here also we need to make the optimization of the well depth. All this should be done. But we can have some problems like latch up and all. So that is formation of short circuit paths from the VDD to VSS due to formation of unwanted parasitics. So two transistors will be formed and they will be continuously conducting from VDD to VSS, which may cause to damage of the device. That is called as the latch up. So in order to overcome that, we need to do the fabrication. So latch up problems can be considerably reduced by using a low resistivity epitaxial substrate as a starting material, so which can subsequently act as very low resistance ground plane to collect the substrate currents. So we can have one more method called as a twin tub process. So in the twin tub process, we can observe here two tubs are there. Previously only one tub is there, either N-well or P-well. Here in the N-well, PMOS is formed, and in the P-well, NMOS is formed, and we will have a epitaxy layer on the N substrate for having better performance. So here we start with a substrate of high resistivity N-type material, and then create both N-well and P-well regions. So though this process is possible to preserve the performance of N transistors without compromising the P transistors, doping control is more readily achieved, and some relaxation in manufacturing the tolerances also results. So this is particularly important as far as latch up is concerned. So this is the twin tub technique. Then one more technique will be there, which is called as silicon on insulator. That is very good in performance in fabricating the CMOS. So silicon on insulator, the transistor wells are not formed, islands are formed, and there will not be any latch up problem, body effect problem. So all the problems which we face in previous process will be overcome in the silicon on insulator. Thank you one and all.